All right, let's talk about three of the biggest buzzwords in tech right now: AI, machine learning, and deep learning. I mean, you hear them everywhere, right? But what do they actually mean? And more importantly, how do they all fit together? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about that? How Netflix just knows what you want to watch next? Or how your phone unlocks just by looking at your face? It feels like magic, but it's not. It's the science of teaching machines to think and learn, and believe me, it is already all around you. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to start with the big picture, AI. Then we'll zoom in on machine learning, and then get even more specific with deep learning. By the end, you'll see exactly how they stack up, and trust me, you'll understand why knowing this stuff is basically a superpower these days.
So let's kick things off with a big one: artificial intelligence. This is really the whole field, the ultimate goal that started everything.
Yeah, the main thing to get here is that AI isn't just one thing. It's a huge, broad field of computer science. And the whole point? It's all about building machines that can do things we normally think require human intelligence, like solving problems, making decisions. You get the idea. And this is probably the best analogy for it. Just like biology isn't just about frogs, AI isn't just one specific technology. It's the entire subject, a giant umbrella covering tons of different approaches and techniques. Okay, this is super important. We've got to separate the Hollywood fantasy from reality. The AI you see in movies, like the Terminator or JRVIS, conscious beings that can do anything a human can, that's called artificial general intelligence. And it doesn't exist. Not yet, anyway. What we actually have today is what's called artificial narrow intelligence. It's really, really good at one specific thing, like filtering your spam or navigating with Google Maps. Powerful, but focused. All right, so if AI is the big goal, the what, then how do we actually do it? Well, that leads us right into machine learning. Think of this as the how. And this is the game changer. For decades, programming was all about writing explicit rules. But machine learning completely flips that idea on its head. Instead of writing a million lines of code telling the computer exactly what to do, we just feed it a whole bunch of data and let it figure out the patterns on its own. This comparison just nails it. The old way, with if-then rules, is so rigid. I mean, could you imagine trying to write a rule for every single type of spam email? You'd be there forever. The new way is so much smarter. We just show the computer millions of examples of spam and millions of examples of good emails, and it learns to tell the difference. It's a lot like how you'd teach a toddler what a dog is. You don't give them a textbook definition. You just point at a bunch of dogs and say, dog. And once you see it, you realize this is everywhere. Netflix doesn't have a rule book. It learns from what you and millions of other people watch. Your email's spam filter gets smarter every time you mark something as junk. It's even being used in medicine, where computers learn to spot tumors in scans by looking at thousands of examples. It's all about learning from data. Okay, so let's go one level deeper. We've got our goal, AI, and a popular way to get there, machine learning. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful techniques inside of machine learning, deep learning. So what's so deep about deep learning? Well, it's inspired by the most powerful computer we know of, the human brain. It uses something called an artificial neural network, which is basically a computer model that mimics the way neurons are connected in our own heads. This structure lets it learn things in a way that's much more complex and, well, human-like. So how does a neural network actually see something? Let's take a car. When you show it a picture, the first layer of this network might just see really basic stuff, like edges and curves. The next layer takes those edges and curves and combines them into simple shapes, like circles and rectangles. Then, the layer after that puts those shapes together to form things like wheels and windows. Finally, the top layer sees all those parts assembled in the right way and goes, aha, that's a car. It learns layer by layer, from simple details to the big picture. And this layered approach, it's the secret sauce behind some of the most mind-blowing tech out there. Self-driving cars, recognizing pedestrians, that's deep learning. Generative AI, like ChatGPT writing a poem, deep learning. Those apps that translate your voice in real time, you guessed it, deep learning. All right, we've covered AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So how do they all fit together? The absolute best way to visualize this is to think of them like those Russian nesting dolls. This is it. This is the key takeaway. All deep learning is a form of machine learning, and all machine learning is a form of AI. It's that simple. Deep learning is the smallest doll, which fits inside the machine learning doll, which fits inside the biggest doll, AI. But, and this is important, it doesn't go the other way around. Not all AI uses machine learning. Think of a simple chess program from the 80s. That's AI, but it's based on hard-coded rules. And not all machine learning is deep learning. There are other simpler ML techniques too. So it's a one-way street. Okay, before we get to the why this matters part, let's quickly bust some common mess. Myth number 1, AI is robots. Nope. AI is the software, the brain. The robot is just the body. Myth 2, AI has feelings. Not even close. It's an incredibly complex pattern matching machine, but it isn't conscious. And the biggest one, you need to be a math wizard to get this. Absolutely not. You just need to understand the core ideas to start using these amazing tools. So, we've covered the what. Now for the big question. Why should you care? The truth is, understanding AI isn't just for tech geeks and coders anymore. This is becoming a basic skill for, well, for everyone.
I want you to really think about this. 20 years ago, people started saying you've got to learn how to use the internet. Today, understanding the basics of AI is the new digital literacy. It's becoming just as essential for your career and just for navigating the world.
And look, the reasons to learn are pretty compelling. First, jobs. It is, by far, the fastest growing and highest paying sector right now. But even if you're not a programmer, it's a universal skill. It's a superpower for marketers, artists, doctors, you name it. It also empowers you. You'll actually understand the technology that's changing our lives. And honestly, it's just really cool. You can build things that feel like straight up magic. So, I'm going to leave you with a little homework. Now that you can tell the difference between AI, machine learning, and deep learning, start looking for them in your own life. What's the coolest, or maybe even the scariest example of AI you interact with every day? Seriously, give it some thought, because once you start seeing it, you start understanding the future we're all building together.